I'm your host, Elizabeth, and this is For the Talkers. Hello, talkers, and happy Thursday. This is Elizabeth, your host, and this is For the Talkers. Trying to make it sound like an infomercial. How am I doing?
Oh, I'm on the mic. This is For the Talkers.
How'd it sound?
Oh.
Infomercially?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hello, if you're new here, I'm Elizabeth, and this is my fiance, soon-to-be wife, Grace.
Yes. Hello, listeners that I call the Talkers.
Yep. And today we are doing a first of the month episode, but also first of a new season. Fire! I need a little sound machine so I can
iCarly vibes on the like looks like a piano.
Aww.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I do solo episodes, I can just do a laugh track after. Okay, anyway.
People are like, that wasn't funny.
We're getting off track. Okay. So we're going to get right into it with our happy, funny, sads. So my happy is that my best friend Cammie came up to see me and we had just a girls' day. Okay, listen to this day. Got here and we immediately went to Barnes & Noble. Period. Okay, starting off strong. And we had no limit. We had no goal. Okay, we walked like every bookshelf in there. It was awesome. Okay. And then we went to Zupa's. Okay. We had lunch. And then we got to take lunch to Gracie and hang out with Gracie. And then we came back to my place. Oh, and we went to TJ Maxx and I did her nails. Okay. So best girls' day ever. And I love Cammie. My funny is we have a Maverick right on like our street corner. It's bad. We go there often. So
we know the staff by name, first name.
This story is about Bob.
Oh, I love Bob.
Tell them about
Bob. He gives us suggestions every time we go. He's like, did you know they got the foot strips in the multi-packs now? Yeah, you guys really got the single packs, my bad. Yeah, and he like gives us suggestions and like every time we try something, he's like, oh, you guys like that one? Okay, I'll give that one a try. Like, he's just really sweet.
Yeah, very sweet. And so, if you follow me on Instagram, you would know that I love Oreo Coke Zero.
It's true.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
No, and it's kind of a trip on your taste buds because it's like, why am I drinking Oreos but Coke? Like it's
it's not gross.
No, it's just really sweet. It's really sweet.
I love it so much. Okay, so we go down to the Maverick and I'm like, Bob, I need an Oreo Coke Zero, and that man scoured the store for me.
He did. He pulled some strings. He went all the way to the back. We didn't see him for like a good 3-4 minutes. He was digging.
They didn't have any.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny because
it was very sweet.
So sweet. And like so happy to help if you like actually have a question, right? Because like no one goes to Maverick. It's like, where's the chips? Like there's 4 aisles. Like people don't need help at the gas station. So I think he's always
so sweet.
Yeah. And then my sad is, okay, last week my happy was this yogurt I had, the Chobani yogurt flips. So amazing. Well, this week my sad is yogurt. I tried Ratio Protein. Have any of y'all had it? This is a shout out to the girl who has pica, and so she eats like weird foods because they like
satisfy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So like rice paper for paper, whatever. Girl, get you some Ratio Protein Greek yogurt that tastes like paste.
Oh, really?
That tastes like exactly what you think paste tastes like. It was, I opened it, I was like, oh, Oh, it's going to be like a pudding. No, disgusting, actually.
Ooh, ouch.
And I chose that as my sad because I'm really just in a slump and everything's sad. So I'd rather say the yogurt, and I will pass that on to you, Talker Grace.
I'm gonna start with my sad and then go in that order. I have two, but they're both like kind of lighthearted. Number one, I got eaten alive by mosquitoes at my softball game, just barely. So I'm like itchy on my arms and my legs and like my neck.
Yeah.
So kind of annoying. The other one, camping season is over. It was so cold. It was so cold, our last one. So we called it.
Yeah, follow on my TikTok or Instagram if you want to see a vlog when we went camping, and it was like
it was it was frigid. Yeah, and oh my goodness. And so that actually leads right into my funny. So we got a canopy that was very nice to have. We would have been hosed if we didn't have that camping because it kept everything dry and us dry. And kept the ground dry. So it was really nice. Anyways, and so then the canopy was like getting like a lot of the rain was getting stuck on it. It wasn't draining anymore because it was coming down so much. And so I look at Elizabeth and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I shake the canopy? And she kind of just like sits there for a second and I'm like, okay, she's thinking about it. That's good. And she looks at me with like this really serious face. And she gives me this face when she really wants me to think about something. And she goes, well, is it worth everything getting wet for a second? And I was just like, what? Okay. When I'm saying shake the canopy, I mean, I'm just going to give the legs a good shake so that the water can come off. No, my perfect fiance who misinterpreted thought I was going to like shake the canopy, like flip it all the way upside down. What do you, I couldn't even do that if I wanted to.
No, and that's genuinely what my brain was.
So dramatic and so funny. And so no, I just wanted to shake the water off the canopy gently. And so that's my funny. My happy, Elizabeth and I got all of our fall decorations set up and they're so cutesy. They're so cute. And so it's really fun with the temperatures dropping to have the decorations up. It just feels perfect. And we also got a cinnamon broom from Traders. They smell good. We should actually go get another one so that it's strong again, the smell.
Yeah.
So anyways,
you,
that's
like,
my happy.
Walk into your house and it smells just like
scrumptious. It smells like fall. Yeah, exactly.
So good. Okay. All right. So for those of you who may have not listened to a first of the month episode before, I don't do an intro for Grace because it would be the same every month. So I'm giving you all one Gracie fact.
Okay. And I don't know them before. I go in blind every time.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's true.
Okay, today's Gracie fact is actually pertaining to the next season. So I was thinking about it, and Grace has like the perfect confidence, not like overconfidence and not underconfidence. Okay, and here's an example. So when we first started dating, Grace did not know how to cook. She could make spaghetti and quesadillas. She could make like a mean Alfredo, weirdly.
Yeah, because it was like
homemade,
4 ingredients.
Homemade.
Yeah.
Anyways, so just as we've been together, I am huge into cooking. And
Elizabeth is a great cook. No, like actually. She never uses recipe and somehow it's perfect. Every time.
But I love taking cooking classes in school. And my mom is amazing and a really good
Jeanette does rock. Jeanette has also helped me.
Yeah. Anyways, so Grace was like really timid, like when it came to cooking.
Oh, I would get so embarrassed.
It was great. Like she wasn't overconfident. She wasn't like, because I do that. Like I'm so overconfident. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that, and it's not like I don't, and I whatever. So she doesn't do that. But then she like slowly picks up on it. Whatever. She's like a great cook now.
Because we got a chopper. That's right.
She has the perfect amount of confidence. Like she made, like I don't know. It's just you're not.
No, it definitely has grown my ability to cook for sure.
Okay, so that's a little sneak peek into this new season, and the seasons are kind of sporadic. So some have a theme, some don't. Well, this season is really dialed in, and I like can't even express how excited you guys are. I am so excited. So I have a ton of really amazing women who are all very confident, strong, funny women. And we are going to be talking all about confidence. And I'm just so excited. I'm literally smiling ear to ear right now because just from the very brief knowledge I have of them, they are amazing. And so this next probably couple months is going to be filled with so much learning and so much laughing. I can guarantee it. And so to start off the season, me and Grace are going to talk about confidence in relationships.
Mm-hmm. Boom, boom.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right. So first, we're going to talk about what in other relationships makes you go, oh yeah, they're confident.
Like, yes, I think, okay, there's a couple different ways to answer this. I think when I know someone close to me is confident in the relationship, when I feel like their partner's bettering them. So like I see them improve, I see them care about like their passions increase, their strengths now become stronger. I think I noticed that in my friends when they're in a relationship that they feel confident in, because when they feel confident in their partner, they're able to thrive in so many other aspects of their life.
Wow, I didn't think of that. That's great.
Yeah.
So true.
Yes.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you know, sometimes you do. You like look at relationships and it's like, yeah, I mean, sure. And
like,
those
sure.
are the ones that usually don't last very long. And
Yeah, and they're not that you're not that confident in either. You're like, sure, yeah, they might be together a minute, but the ones that you're like, no, like they're great, like they're doing so well, you get a vibe that the partners are also confident in each other.
amazing. That's great. My answer to that was when they're in like social settings or just kind of like relaxed settings, the way they talk about their partner, I think it really like shows me how confident they are in the relationship. I just had a thought. I feel like in social settings, if you have like a partner that you don't feel really confident about, the second they're not around, you're like and like start talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
You're trying to take up the space of what.
Well, and like, yeah, you're like unsure. You're not confident. So like you always need to like talk with your friends about it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like do that because it's like,
no, I'm good.
Grace.
Like I'm set.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like I'm in it for the long haul. Like
I think about like when I'm 16, right? And I'm like in this like whatever. Yeah, you're like
yeah,
yeah.
Totally. It brings out
doing a video show because I'm like
but what you're saying is it brings out that insecure side of you when you're not feeling confident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally. Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think I also see like I look at a couple that looks confident. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're obsessed with each other in like a good way. Yeah. Like I look at people, like we have people in our lives who we talk about in positive ways and we're like, oh my goodness, they are so compatible. Yeah. Right. Like we look at some people sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, I could not operate that way. But I love how well they complement each other. Yes. Right. Yeah. And so just like they love each other's quirks. They love how they operate. They love how silly they are. Right. I can see that. Usually that's like demonstrated through their like language and body language. Right. Yeah. I was just going to say for my last one, just piggybacking off what you said. I think how someone speaks of their partner speaks a lot of them and the relationship. Yeah. And looped in that is confidence level. Yeah. So yeah, kind of bouncing off what you already said. Yeah. And that's it for that one.
Totally. Okay. So the next kind of thought is what growing up or recently or whatever did you think confidence was in a relationship, and what do you think it really is?
I think right off the bat what I think it is and what I didn't necessarily know is you setting your partner at number one and then you being confident that you are also your partner's number one.
Ooh.
Like,
Wow.
I think when you get in a long-term relationship, and I think a lot, I listen to I listen to a lot of podcasts. Okay, I have 4 days off a week, and so I have my AirPods in a lot because I'm just kind of here chilling with Murphy or working out, right? So anyways, listen to a lot of podcasts, and the podcast talked about when you have a life partner, they are above your parents, they are above your grandparents, they are above your work, they are above, right? And so I guess I didn't super know that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think when you are confident in your partner, why would there be any reason to not do that? If you're confident that y'all are going to be together forever, why would they not be number one? Right? And so I guess I never really, and until I felt that, right? Like, you're so
Yeah.
easy to put number one. It's like, duh.
Yeah.
You know
not
what I
even
mean?
a question.
Right.
But when you're not with the right person,
You don't
I
feel that
question.
way. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So.
yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, so I went in a completely different direction with this. So
Deal.
I went real specific, and
Okay.
I was thinking about some of my like early thoughts about like relationships, like
Okay. Okay.
younger kind of. Okay.
Okay.
I really thought, I don't know why, this must have just been like a popular, not meme, but like thing going around social media of like a red flag is that he like tries to tell you what to wear.
Oh, okay.
To me, like that was ingrained to me that like,
Like-
you're like
that's not a
bad
space for your partner.
partners do that, right? So to me, I just thought that like if you were confident in a relationship that you would let them wear whatever.
I see.
Right?
Okay, I see that. Yeah.
Right? Now, picture is like way more broadened, right? And I think it's like you talk with your partner and you do what's best for you. Right? That's like a truly confident relationship because you know what?
Yeah, second.
For some relationships that probably works, and for some relationships the
Yeah.
opposite probably
Right,
works.
right.
Right?
There's so many. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually kind of piggybacking off of what you said, your partner's number one, but also you're above number one. You yourself, right? Like all the cheesy crap of like, you have to know yourself before you're in a relationship. It's true.
Yeah.
Be so for real. It's also not fair to be with a person and like not fully figure your crap out before. I don't know. And obviously there's going to be stuff that you figure out along the way. And we have some more questions that like you kind of talk about that. But anyways, just all the stuff about like having to love yourself and know yourself before you can do that in a relationship is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So is there something that you can think of that was like, gosh, once I like did this, then being confident in the relationship was like either way easier or way more approachable now? So what that kind of made me think of is once you start addressing things, I felt like that was like, okay, and I have a vivid memory that I'll tell y'all. Me and Grace were like, I swear it was the 4th of July. And we're like going on this walk, I think, to like see if we could see any fireworks.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just remember like the conversation like took a turn. And I can't even remember. See, this is why it's like you just got to do it because you don't even remember the details. I don't even remember if it was me or you who like brought an issue up.
Right.
But somehow we just started and it was like, oh, it was like so hard to have that conversation. And then we did, and now I just feel like since that point on, oh my gosh, it's like so much easier to talk about stuff. And when you can talk about stuff, that grows confidence in your relationship. And like, I literally remember that was like such a turning point. And so that would be my answer is like, once I like got into like you can bring things up and you can address things, and that doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean you're
Right.
done. It just means you're like, hey, I really like you and I want to talk about this so we can like further our relationship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had something very similar wrote down. I wrote like, it may feel weird, but not being afraid to like make like roadmaps through hard parts of your hard parts of your relationships with your partner, right?
Yeah.
So like exactly what you're saying, there are some things that are harder for us that may be different than other couples, right? Or whatever it may be. And literally sitting down and being like, okay, the next time this happens, because it will, okay, I'm going to do this. You're going to do that. When we feel weird, this is what we're going to say. That's fine. You can do that until it becomes habitual, but it's not. And so I think that's like kind of my clinical brain where it's like, it's called the coping skill because it's a skill. It's not something you just magically randomly know how to do. You have to practice it. Same thing with conflict resolution. You're not just magically good at knowing what to say and knowing what to do. And just because you live together and have a life together doesn't mean you know how to do that. It doesn't mean you know how to do that.
Well, and I think you just kind of like grow up assuming that like if you love someone, like, well, you love them, so like you would never disagree with them, you would never,
right? Or like you never hurt them. No, life happens, bro. Shit hits the fan.
It's just like that's just not quite like you're
literally
saying,
naive.
like, most of these things aren't innate.
Okay, perfect.
The question is just what's something that you think is actionable that people listening can do or whatever. That sounds kind of silly saying it aloud, but basically just a tip, right? Tip at the end. And I like, without everything else being said, right? Those are all things that you could probably do. I decided to say, because I heard this recently, same thing on a podcast, and it was basically saying that this couple started like writing things down on paper instead of having a face-to-face conversation for like this certain subject or whatever. And it just worked way better because the one spouse like had these facial expressions that were not
like congruent,
equal to what they were saying, right. And so it was so hard for the other person because they were like reading into it so much, and so it was just, and so I just thought that was really interesting. And so I think like I want to do this too. Okay, I'm not saying like I did this so you do it. I'm saying you're gonna do this together. Okay,
well, we should have given a disclaimer at the beginning. This is 100% just what me and Buddy think.
Oh my god, and in 10 years we're gonna go, oh, what
like,
were they
what were they thinking? No, like actually. So please, if you've cringed, I'm so sorry. Cringe and now listen to this and accept my apology.
I'm cutting that and pasting it to the beginning.
No, literally. Cringe warning. Beep, beep.
Anyways, so I just was thinking like I'm going to pick one thing that I want to communicate about and pick like how, right? Because I think all the time a good tip is like communicate with your partner. And I think we always assume that to be talking, but it could be recording a voice message. It could be writing it down. It could, like not looking at each other, or you want like direct eye contact, right? Like there's many ways to communicate. So
yeah. And this is interesting because my most recent session with my supervisor mentor, we talked about treatment plans and we talked about the importance of goals. And then I listened to a podcast episode about goals, right? And just it really kind of hit home the importance of goals in every aspect of your life. You don't just have to have goals about losing weight. You don't have to have goals about how much money you make and whatever. Have goals for how many fights you resolve with your partner. Have goals for how many times you calm down when it was hard. Have goals for, right? Like I really think we should be setting goals, because when you achieve a goal, it makes you more confident. It makes you more confident in yourself. It makes you more confident in your relationship.
Rip this mic off this arm and drop it so hard.
And so I think we just need to set goals. And so, and I think that's my clinical brain kind of aligning with that too, like the treatment plan, right? The treatment plan to relationships is conflict resolution and setting goals.
Title of the episode, the treatment plan.
Yes. Heather would be so proud. And so, set goals. If it feels silly, who freaking cares? Only you have to know. Only you are the one making it silly. You decided to make it weird. Yeah. Right. And so set goals. And then the other things like I had written down we didn't talk about were just allowing for growth for your partner. Like when you talked about cooking, I'm not the same, right? No. You allowed me to grow. You could have capped me at my ability, and that's a silly example, right? But and then
example.
And then on the flip side, allowing for decline, maybe I'm not going to be good at cooking 2 years from now, right?
Stop. Yeah, that's great.
And then forgiveness, that's a huge part of it. Like, I think I saw a TikTok that was like, saw an old couple, and it was like, imagine how many times they've had to forgive each other. And I think that like set in. Like you don't, and I think kind of how you were talking about, you don't really think when you get into a relationship, like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to forgive this person like 80 times. Murphy
that is our naughty cat getting in the trash.
And you know what? She waits till we're busy, until we're recording.
True.
So anyways, just remembering that like you're going to have to forgive your partner over and over. And sometimes it's going to be freaking annoying. Heart. And then always have good intentions. I think I kind of talked about this when I talked about civil discourse in our book episode, but just like be true with yourself and true with what you're doing, and be just good. Have good intentions with your partner and how you treat them and how you make them feel. And then also being detailed with your needs and your expectations for your partner, because that's not fair. And so if you're doing all these things, kind of having these conversations exactly like you were saying, communicating, setting goals. Also, I think, and I've listened to some podcasts, gratitude and confidence are linked. Just expressing gratitude is super, super helpful and correlated with confidence. And so then I think expressing gratitude towards your partner helps them feel more confident in their ability to be your partner, which makes right? Yeah. And so there's so many, I mean, we could go on and on and on and on. I think it's a cool topic. So
yeah, no, I'm like sitting back just, so my ADHD brain just can only think of words that I'm making up. So I can't think. Enraptured. Is that
what? That makes me think of a dinosaur.
Sure. Anyways, you were holding my attention because yes, this is a great topic and it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, it is fun to talk about.
You know what? I do that with the podcast all the time, you guys. I can't wait till I'm 65 and I'm listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be amazing. Okay. Oh, very huge, large announcement that everyone needs to hear. Okay. Book club is postponed. We will discuss Remarkably Bright Creatures on next month's episode. So I know y'all were waiting for it.
Wait, next month or next week?
Next month.
So
with the other book review.
So a November episode will have Remarkably Bright Creatures too.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Deal.
Just clarifying. Just for the talkers out there, okay?
Grace is gonna write the FAQ section, okay?
No, I'm gonna cook through Remarkably Bright Creatures. I'm gonna read the whole thing. You heard it here. I'm gonna do it.
Heard it here. Okay. Anything else for the cause, for the talkers?
Shut off the noise. Do things based on you. Do things based on your relationship. Ask for help. Be nice. Have good intentions. Forgive. Allow for growth. Set goals. Don't make it weird. Remember that you matter.
And what you have to say matters.
Thanks for listening. Remember to leave a rating and review, subscribe, and come back next Thursday for a new episode. And remember, you matter and what you have to say matters. So join me here with For the Talkers.